Welcome to my channel, guys. Today I want to talk to you about the plants that keep on giving. You see these onions, scallions, whatever you call them in your culture. These are free. I call them free onions. Yes, I want to talk to you about how to regrow these. Regrowing the bottom of onions is a simple and rewarding way to reduce your waste and enjoy a continuous supply of fresh onions. Here's how you do it, guys. First, prepare the bottom of the onion. Cut it about 1 inch from the root end of the onion and make sure that you include the base and the roots. Okay, you gently remove the outer layers of the bottom of the onion and you expose the roots. You can start it in water by placing the bottom of the onion in a shallow dish of water with the roots side down. Ensure that the water covers just the roots and the base of the onion, and you place that dish in a sunny spot, and you change the water every few days. And in a few days, you should see the roots are growing, and you may even see that some shoots are forming from the top of the onion as well. Now, as you can see, I've already started to plant these, and I do this on a continuous basis in my container garden. So I'm going to go ahead. I use this as a pest deterrent also because pests and insects don't like the smell of onions. But here's a spot. I found a spot here. I'm going to go ahead and place the onion that I started inside. And you don't even have to start it inside. You can start it in damp soil as well. Just ensure that you're putting it in well-drained soil, okay? And then you place the onion root side down into the soil. You cover it about 1 inch of the soil. You water the soil lightly to settle it around the onion's bottom, and you place it in a sunny location. It needs to be in a spot that gets at least 6 hours of sunlight a day. As the green shoots grow, you can snip them off to use as green onions or scallions. Eventually, the onion will form a bulb, and you can harvest it once it gets to the desired size that you want. Now, here's the mint. I know I've shown you mint, how I up-plant mint. For me, mint is not something I want to start from seed. It usually grows better if you just have a stem of mint that you just insert into the soil and you regrow from that, or you can buy the seedlings from a nursery. Now this under here, this is lilies. This is a pot that I left on my deck over the winter and fall months, and the clay pot cracked and bust. I think I was doing something outside. It was so cold, and I just kind of pushed this pot under this bench, left it there and forgot about it. And these are the flowers that I have in the front of my house in the flower beds. Remember, I was telling you, try to buy plants that regrow themselves. And yes, the lilies died off, and when the spring sprung, they sprung up as well. And here they are. Finally gonna pull them out from under this bench, and I'll replant these either in another pot or I'll add them to my flower bed in the front of the house. And what happens is the lilies die off. I usually cut the tops off of them when the winter starts, but the bulbs will hibernate in the soil, and they will spring right up when spring hits. So yeah, this is a way to save money on flowers as well, okay? Because lily bulbs will regrow themselves every year, and these have regrown for probably over 20 years, okay? So here we go with the celery. I've shown you how I use a stalk of celery and I replant that in a pot as well. The celery tops are nice and crunchy. I'll add those to my sandwich later in the day. So here I am cleaning off my grow rack that I use during the winter and fall months for indoor planting. But for starting seeds. I am going to use this today to dry some mint, so I want to make sure that I wipe it down good. So here's some mojito mint. I'm going to harvest some of that, and I'm also going to harvest some strawberry mint that I want to, because of the height of these, they will regrow as well. So it's a cut and come again plant that keeps on giving all spring and summer, and even into the winter if it's not too cold. Okay, and so you just simply snip the tops of it off. This mojito mint is a little bit more hardier than some of the other mints, so I just use the snippers to snip it off. You can use scissors, you can use a knife. With some of the other mint, like the strawberry mint, you could just, pinch it off with your hands because the stalks are not as hardy as the mojito mint. So yeah, either way works. Okay, so I'm going to get some of the longer pieces of this as well. As you can see, it is about to come up out of this pot. So the more you cut, the more it will grow. Okay, and so that is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to snip some of this and I'm going to dry it for future use that I'll most likely use for tea. So I know I'm not going to use it today. So there's no need for me to snip it unless I want to preserve it in some way. And the easiest way is to dry it. Okay, or you could rinse it. You're going to rinse it anyway. And you could put them in freezer bags and store them in the freezer and use them later. And that will preserve it as well. But for me today, easy way, I'm just going to hang them to dry. And I'll show you how simple it is to do that as well. But yes, mint is another plant that just keeps on giving. Okay, so much that you want to contain it in a container pot, right? So that you can control where it grows, because wherever it touches soil, it will start to multiply. So here's the mint. I've already rinsed it and I've kind of patted it dry. So now I know that there's still some moisture on this. I'm going to use one of my just bread ties that I keep my bread ties in a little old Ziploc bag inside one of my drawers in the kitchen, and I'm just going to cut it to my desired length. And I think just cutting it in half in this case is good enough. Okay, so now we've rinsed and we've kind of pat these dry, we're just going to gather them together. Here's the mojito mint. I'm going to use the bread tie and I'm going to just connect them together. Okay, and I'll do that same process with the strawberry mint as well. I wanted to also mention that mint can also be used as a deterrent for rodents, insects, and even deer. They don't like the smell of mint, but guess who does? Rabbits. Rabbits and chickens will eat your mint if they have the opportunity to do so. So I just wanted to make sure that I gave you that disclosure that there are some critters out there that do like mint, but it can be used as a deterrent for rodents and insects and deer. And some people do back in the good old days, will use mint in their windowsills, around their doors. They would have plants of mint. I remember my grandmother used to have mint growing on her back step. For one thing, it was just convenient to just go out back and pick or harvest what you wanted for teas and things like that. But the other thing is to keep those critters and rodents from coming near your home or entering your home, because they don't like the smell of mint. But we do, right? We do. And rabbits do. So, yeah, just a little disclosure there. But so I'm just gathering this. This is strawberry mint, and I wish you guys could smell this strawberry mint. Oh, my God. So I'm just doing the same thing, just gathering it together. And now I've got a second bread tie here that I'm just going to use to, I just find the stem that's the longest stem there, where I can just use the bread tie to tie onto that, and that is what I'm going to use to hook onto my my rack for it to air dry. And so you can use anything. You can use thread, You can use yarn, whatever you want. You can use wire. You can go and buy some special things to hang it. It really doesn't matter as long as airflow can get in between those stems and keep it from mildewing. You don't mildew or mold to grow on your mint while you're trying to preserve it. So that's one reason. The bread ties is something I always have around. They're free, right? And so I just use whatever I have, whatever is convenient. And I'm just hooking this to the outside of the rack. You can hook it anywhere on the rack, anywhere that the airflow can get to it and keep it dry. And so that's what I'm doing. I am basically hanging it and forget about it. As I walk by it, I will definitely smell it, because I'm also going to use my my fan, one of the fans I have here, for my seed rack. I'm going to use that to make sure that this gets good airflow. And I'm just not hanging them too close together. You can hang them wherever on the rack. And I think this is good enough. I'm not too worried about it, because like I said, I have the fan that I'm going to use to keep the airflow moving between the stems, so it will be just fine. Yeah. And so I'll hang it and forget it, and it will, once it dries out. And also, if it doesn't completely dry out, and I decide one day I walk by there and I smell it and I want to make myself a cup of tea, I can just snip off what I want, right? No big deal. I have more outside, but for now, I know I'm not going to use it today, so I want to make sure that I preserve it in some way. And for me, this is just easy. And I'm going to find the best position here for the airflow to hit the stems of mint, and just to assist in the drying process. Like I said, I want to keep that air moving. I don't want any mildew. I don't want any mold growing that I can't see. And I want to thank you guys for always tuning in. I appreciate you so much. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day.